Hey everyone, I'm going to go over an example of the carry forward. So I know that in my other video, we did an example where every single year the family income was below the bond threshold. So that kind of made it a little bit more simple. So in this one, what I'm going to do is it's going to be for a child, and the child or the family income is going to be based on the parent's income for up until the year the child turns 18. And then in the first 5 years, 2010 through 2014, these years, the parent's income fall below the threshold, which means that they'll get the 3 times matching on the first 500 and then 2 times matching on the next 1,000. I'm going to explain this red box in 2010 in a little bit. And then what's going to happen is that in the year that the child turns 19, which is going to be 2019, it's going to be based on the child's or the beneficiary's family income, which qualifies for the bond, the max bond, as well as the 3 times and 2 times on the grant matching. So hopefully you guys can follow along, and this is how the grant matching works. All right, so let's go. So in 2020, as you can see here, the disability tax credit has been approved, and the family would like to know how they can contribute or have a contribution plan to maximize the carry forward grants. As you can see here, there are 5 years plus 2019, 2020, so 7 years altogether that the 3 times matching is available. So if we look here, 7 times 500 is 3,500, and then 3 times 3,500 is 10,500. That's the maximum grant that will be deposited in a calendar year. So basically, 2010 to 2014 plus 29 to 2020 are the 7 years that are going to be used up at 3 times. The years 2010 to 2014, where it's 2 times, that's going to be carried forward for the following years. So I did mention that in 2021, this will drop off because it only goes back 10 years. So we actually lose that forever. So we can't use this 2 times matching for 2010. So what happens is that in 2021, we get a new 500 and 1,000 3 times and 2 times, but they're going to look at the 500 for 2021 at 3 times. Then they're going to go back to the furthest year where it's 2 times. So here's 2011, 12, 13, and 14. So 4 additional years. And then these years here are only 1-to-1, so they're not going to worry about that. And then in 2019, they're going to use half of the allocation because 500 times 3 is 1,500, and then 1, 2, 3, 4,000 times 2 is 8,000. So we have 9,500 of grants, and this 500 here at 2 times will attract another 1,000. So altogether we have 10,500. So I'm going to slide this over, and you can see that in 2021 we're going to contribute $5,000 to get 10,500. And if we go back to here, now there, and then the other part, I forgot to mention the bonds, is that in 2020 there will be also 2 years of entitlement where the child turned to an adult, and the income, so 2019 and 2020 receives 1,000 each of bonds, and then in 2021 another 1,000 bonds. So in 2020 the total balance would have been 16,000, and then now 2021 we've added another 16,500. So now we have 32,500, and this can be as soon as January or February, so in about 7 or 8 months. Now in 2022, this is going to be a little bit different, and I hope you guys can follow along. So again, we get a new allocation of 3 times and 2 times. Here's the 500, 1,000. Again, we're going to use the 3 times on this, so that's $1,500 of grant, and then it's going to go to the next best matching, which goes back to 2019. We're going to use up the other 500, 2020, 21, 22. So if you add this up, we're going to have another 1, 2, 3, 3,500 of contributions, which gives us 7,000 of grant, and then another 1,500 of grant here. So that's 8,500 of grant. And then we also have, when we go back here, the years that the one-to-one was available. So then it's 9,500, 10,500. So you can see that if we put in $6,000, we're going to get another 10,500. I'm going to scroll over here so you guys can see this. Again, in 2022, put in 6,000, we'll get another 10,500 in grant. So now we can see that we can also get another 1,000 in bonds. And so you can see that now the total balance is $50,000. And remember, we haven't factored in any investing or rate of return. This is strictly contributions, grant, and bonds. And then in 2023, what happens is we get another 500 and 1,000 3 times and 2 times. And we look at these two. So 500 and times 3 is 1,500, 1,000 times 2 is 2,000. So we get the 3,500, the typical 1,500 gets you 3,500 for the year. However, we still have $2,000 here that is one-to-one for 2017 and 2018. So you add that up, 1,500, 25, 3,500. So if we put in 3,500, we'll get 5,500. Plus, again, we qualify for the bond. Now there's going to be $60,000. So here again, the amounts to break that down. And now we've totally caught up. So in 2024, we're totally caught up, and we will get the quote unquote normal 1,500 deposited. Will get us 3,500. So, and then plus the bond. So if we keep on continuing to do that, and then we get to 2033, we will contribute another $500 to get 3-to-1, the $1,500 in grant. And now we've maximized the grant over essentially 13 years, 14 years of contributions. And then the bond is still only at 15,000. So we're gonna get $1,000 each year for another 5 years, and then that will also maximize the bond. So this gives you a sense of how this particular example works and how the RDSP goes back and makes sure that you get the best matching possible. So I hope this clarified some things, and if you have any questions, definitely let me know, and I can run a my best guess assumption on this as well. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. All right, so this is going to be an alternative contribution plan. What we're going to look at is not contributing for the one-to-one matching years and essentially saving that money for the 3 and 2-to-1 matching years that will occur later on. So we're going to focus on that moving forward. And then what's going to happen is that in 2020 and 2021, the contributions are going to be the same. We're going to get the maximum grant matching, 10,500 each year. We're still going to get the bonds. What's going to be different is that now in 2022, we're going to contribute $4,000 instead of the $6,000. And how this works is that when in 2022, we get our $500 at 3-to-1 plus our 1,000. And I'm going to do some quick math here. So that's 500 times 3 is 1,500. And then 1, 2, 3, 3,500 times 2 is 7,000 plus the 1,500 is 8,500 of grants. And before, we were going to capture these 2 years, so that would give us the maximum 10,500. Instead, we're going to forego and not capture that. So that's how we get to that 8,500. And I will show you over here, basically how that works there. So that would be how we got to 4,000 and to get 8,500. And then what we would do is that in the future years, we can just continue contribute 1,500 to get the 3,500 100 matching grant, and then the bonds. So this, of course, is going to be a little bit slower in terms of building the total balance of matching grants and bonds. However, if the family or plan holder does not have the capacity to contribute the most to capture that, that's totally fine. It's just a little bit slower, but this is still an effective alternative strategy. If you have any questions about this, let me know.